Welcome back to All the Crackers in the Box. Oh my goodness. I will be honest with you, I could not crochet last night. I could not get anything to work for me. So I took the day off. I still have 10 days to go. So I spent the day playing the game, clearing my mind, resting my hands, and now I am so ready. I'm ready. Let's do this. I'm so glad you're here today. Welcome back. Good to see everyone. Here it is, a lovely Saturday. We're about roughly, 9? Let me guess. 9 days till Christmas. What a race to the edge. So thrilling. So, this is Master Splinter's face. The red is obviously going to be his eyes. So we got the side of his face, got a little chin. It's already stuffed, ready to go. To go with his body. It's kind of crazy looking if you ask me, but it should come together in the end. Got a couple legs. 2, of course. Always somehow attach here. And keep in mind, this pattern is not exactly telling me where I'm going to be attaching them, so I'm assuming it's here, or I'm either going to do it here. It depends on how I feel about things. And we have one extremely long arm. That is 29 rows of 5 stitches. Can you believe that? And his kimono, which I still have to do sleeves on. I have to do a belt. I have ears, a tail, and a walking stick. So let's get going. Okay, so we're working on another hand. Fingers line up. They're all the same size. They're both the same thickness. Looking good. Wiggly jiggly. Alright, so 2 of the fingers are separate pieces, and one of them is the main one that starts it all off. And they'll have to be attached together, which is quite tricky, and I did that off camera because I had to take it apart about 4 times to get it right. Over here, I got a bag of stuffing, and I believe I have a pen or something pokey nearby that I can do pokey wokies. Yes, it's very late in the evening. So we're going to take you out, and this is row 2. I somehow misplaced the pen in my marking phone, so I'm going to have to use my finger. I gotta do 29 rows, so this is going to be very fun. Hold on, I'm going to do something. I'm going to try something here. It just might be crazy enough to work. Alright, I just took the pen out of this phone that I'm recording with. We're going to use that and it'll work just fine. I'm sure I'll have to pause at some point to turn off alarm on one of them to let me know the pen's loose. I know the pen's here. I was just using it about 5 minutes ago. I went to the washroom, came back, and it rolled somewhere in my bed. And I will find it. I just don't feel like tearing everything apart to find it under my leg, because that's usually where it ends up. Anyway. So we've got a bunch of ravenous chickadees and little tiny sparrows that have taken over my patio now. My husband went and got them some birdseed today. Just put it on a little pine cone, a little lard or peanut butter, and just hang it up and let them feed. They live right here anyways. And yeah, the birds. We already have birds, bats, eagles, falcons. As I've mentioned before, we live right beside a bird sanctuary, so nature reserve. And they come over here a lot. Some of them have been nesting in the tree down below and down the building, and yeah, a couple of them are endangered, so you kind of have to leave them where they are. So we're on the 3rd floor. Any bird feeder we put out or snacks we put out for them is going to be nothing but happiness for them, I guess. And it's kind of cute watching them. Some may be on the patio out of nowhere, just flitting around, grabbing a couple snacks and looking at us. And then being on their merry little ways. Kitty nuts too. So, yeah, 29 rows. Kind of tedious. Lots of stitches. Okay. However, first time I did this, I started panicking because, well, low-key panicking, nothing really tragic panicking, just more of questioning in my head. Why so many rows? I'm not used to seeing that amount on any amigurumis, but, you know, I usually make kind of smaller ones, and that's probably, this one's going to be a large one. I don't think it's going to match his turtles that he has because they're fairly small, but that's okay. This is all we could find for the Master Splinter. I mean, there's not a lot of rat or rat-related crochet figures out there. Can't imagine why. Make sure there's no holes in the hand. We're good. And we're going to stuff this in a second before I get too far ahead because I hate trying to stuff it when we're too far away. And I want to get these ends out of my face. Alright, so making sure on camera. I'm kind of liking how I have this set up today. I'm a little more comfortable. I'm not sitting on a tripod. One of my smaller ones that just has a sticky suction cup on the end, so of course, you know, that's not going to last very long. And that's all dried out and gross, and now I have to, like, put some weight on it, which is usually my leg, and then I end up digging into my leg, which makes me uncomfortable, because this is the easiest spot. You have to be comfortable and allow you to see what's going on without being distracted by my amazing smile and sparkling wit. Okay, I got a lovely pokey pen. I'm just going to use this. Where buying a car is easier than you think. Alright. Well, what do you know? Got a nice little bag of stuffing. I've got a huge box of it. I think I got a 5-pound box. But I keep it on my top shelf so the kids don't get in it. And I am one of those people that went in through the side. My box is not open on the top. I refused. I was not going to fight with my stuffing, and I'm so glad I did that way because I've had this box of stuffing for a year or more now. And I just pull out what I need out of the carrying hole that was already kind of ripped open when I got it. It was a really good deal at Michael's. Yeah, I think it was Michael's. No, this pen isn't working. I need the other one. Sometimes it's like that. This one has a more of a rounder end. Yeah, that's feeling a little better. And there we are. There we go. So, day by day, I'm getting more and more of this one done. I'm probably going to be able to get through 2 panels of the corner to corner, but it's going swimmingly, so at worst, it'll be totally finished by his birthday. He's fully aware of it because I already told him last year. He told me I wasn't going to be able to get it done for this Christmas. He was sort of right. Sort of not. I really struggled with the first one, and now I've got a flow for it, so. And I think I may have figured out what material I'm going to put on the back of it. Just to reinforce it and not have it wear out as fast. Make it a thicker blanket. The yarn is for the pretty side, and then a more duller, less flashy side for sleeping against him, because he is kind of hard on blankets and such. And there's my girl. There we go, put that there. Lucille too. Now that's a Arrested Development joke. Haven't thought of that for a while. Lucille too. Liza Minnelli. That shows a hoot. I didn't like the later seasons so much, but the first bit was quite funny. There's always money in the banana stand. Oh, that always made me laugh. And David Cross is in there, and he is quite the comedian. I used to watch him. Oh boy, what was that show? It was with the actor who plays Saul on Everybody Gets Saul. They had a show together a long time ago, like early 2000s. Not The Man Show. Oh, I'd have to look it up, but that one I liked a lot. That one had some really funny skits to it, and I really enjoyed the two of them. So I have followed both throughout their career. Checked out all the different projects I found them in. David Cross was in some interesting ones, like Arrested Development. He's Gobias, the Pretty Sister's husband, who is quite questionable in his preferences. He played that character really well. No, Job is Will Arnett. Ugh, it's been a while since I watched it. But it was always a good show. I like that one. Okay, and that's row 3. Just flying through tonight. So I hope everybody's working on something interesting this weekend. I hope you're not too cold. I hope you have enough to eat. And I hope that it's not going to be a crazy day. There's some free movies being played down the street at the high school and the theater there. They sometimes throw movies on for kids. This week is going to be Paw Patrol, followed by a Ninja Turtle movie, which would be fantastic. Except my kids have decided that they wanted to be sick this week. We already have the 2 movies that they're showing, so I don't know. We'll see how everybody's doing. Personally, I'd rather stay home, make a big bag of popcorn, and a couple bags, sorry. There's a few of us. Tiny herself can probably eat a whole bag of popcorn. She's a little popcorn fanatic. Loves the stuff. Popcorn, hot chocolate. Because it's going to be noisy. It's going to be crazy. And no one in my family really, really enjoys that at all. It's just too much. We get a little overwhelmed. And people start trying to escape. A little bit of regular noise is fine, but that kind of thing amps the kids right up. And like my daughter comes home from school and she's in 2nd grade and she's always telling us like, I need some quiet time. All the kids screaming and stuff. But I'm like, but you scream. And she's like, yeah, well, I can't deal with it anymore. I don't know if that's like other people have that kind of issue where it's draining. It's so draining. Like I always had, like I liked going to the clubs, but I also dreaded going to the clubs when I was younger. I never really went to drink, so that was never an issue. I went to go dance and hang around with my friends who wanted to go because they were right into that kind of thing. And yeah, I would have like the worst ringing ears, and it would just feel terrible after. Concerts can be a bit overwhelming. There's just a lot of noise. Oh, stay. Okay. Probably gonna have to do a round of stuffing again. And 2. Go. Okay. Sorry, my elbow got a little uncomfortable there. It's all getting weird. There we go. So I got a few days to whip out miracles. And I need miracles. I think tomorrow, maybe Sunday, I'm gonna have to go find all my pieces of material and start wrapping things quietly. Well, what I did last year, and I really, really enjoyed it, was I tried using scrap material that I already have for projects and just wrapping our gifts up that way. Not only did we have way less stuff going out of the house at the end of the day, it gave me a chance to look at my materials and start planning some stuff here. It's apparently it's Japanese tradition to do that. Wrap your gifts up in material rather than wrapping paper. So that's pretty different. I really liked it. My husband was a little grumpy about it, but when we didn't have a giant bag of stuff to take down to the garbage room, he was pretty okay with that. Because we're not big fans of a lot of waste. We're always trying to figure out ways to bring down our amount of the waste that goes out of our house. And our building has 24/7 dumpsters. We do not like to overfill it. We try our best to not come up with a lot of garbage. Like if I'm cleaning out a closet, I will stagger the garbage. I won't put it all in at once. Because you can just overwhelm the whole thing and then nobody has room for anything. And that's happened before, and they end up having to empty it 3 times a week, which transfers into money leaving my building that could be used for maintenance or whatever. So people used to put furniture and stuff into the dumpster when they were moving out or just bored. And yeah, that was a big one. It's not the dump, it's a dumpster. And they charge you a lot extra to dispose of big pieces like furniture. Because their vehicles aren't exactly equipped to take a big dresser or your mattress or your king-size bed you can't take apart, or, it just is not equipped for that kind of thing. It's meant for household garbage, like regular stuff. No plastics, no glass, no electronics, none of that's supposed to be in there. It's supposed to actually mostly just be food waste and contaminated things like Kleenexes and cloth. You can throw cloth away. But yeah, plastics now, most plastics anyway, there's still some you can't recycle. And a lot of people don't know that when you're recycling plastics, you're supposed to rinse them and give them a quick clean out. Same with aluminum, because if there's any food, they have to throw that whole bag away. Any food is considered contaminated. I worked with a girl that also worked at a recycling place, and she was telling me how much stuff, just such a waste of time to like throw out your yogurt container and there's still dried on yogurt. They can't recycle it. They're not there to clean it. They'll give it a rinse, but they're not there to scrub it, and who knows how long that yogurt's been there. Who knows what kind of pathogens are in there. It's dangerous stuff. Interesting stuff, though. Weird things I learn. Oh, come on. Stay on task here. We'll get some length here. Pretty excited to get this guy done. He is a lot of work. I'm glad I started him as early as I did, because if I didn't, I would be really frantic right now, because there's been quite a few backups where I've had to back right off and take everything apart, and we're going to just throw a little stuffing in there. Stuffing break. Turn you that way. And there we go. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. Gently. Gently. We don't want to get rough with it. You don't want to poke too hard. You want to stuff it nicely. Push down a couple rows. There we go. There we go. Now the hand's looking a little more hand. Go, and 2, 3. Yeah, so I really enjoy this game called House Flipper. Basically, it is exactly what it says it is. You go around and you renovate houses. Fix them up, you make them, decorate them, and it's been pretty fun. I've enjoyed that game for a few years now. And so, one thing they did not do when they made the first one was make it so you could make your own, build your own. You could not build your own rooms. You couldn't do that. You can't build your own home from scratch. You can't just take a whole house down and just like start over, because it's just such a bad design, or you have an idea you want to try out, like you can with The Sims. That's one thing I love about The Sims. I do really enjoy playing the decorating end of things. That is a lot of fun. It doesn't seem like it'd be fun, but it's matching things up, it's picking out decor, it's just, I find it very soothing. I also really enjoy the Home and Garden Network, so sue me. That is definitely part of my personality that doesn't make sense in my whirlwind house, but yeah, I do have a passion for home fashion. Anyways, so they just released a new copy, House Flipper 2. Super pumped on it. Played it all night, and I played it most of the day. Just built my first add-on room, and I turned it into a room full of windows with a small fireplace, and put in a dining table right off my kitchen. So I'm looking out at my lovely English rose garden out these windows that open, and they're like floor to ceiling windows. pretty cool. And believe me, this house definitely was not equipped for a room like that, so. And yeah, so that was a lot of fun. Doing odd jobs. And just basically resting my hands a little so I can feel the beat, feel my crochet, and I'm feeling it. And there was a couple times where I was like, wow, I missed my hook. I should go back to it. And I was like, nope. Maybe if I make myself wait a little bit longer, I can get over this whole nothing's working. Somebody help me. Somebody do it for me. And I was extra whiny about it yesterday. Kind of embarrassing. I don't want to have to turn the phone back on, so I'm just poking it here and there so it knows that it's not allowed to turn on. And we are at row 11. Yes, this takes a while. And that's just single crochet. I'm not even pulling really tight. I'm keeping it pretty loosey. Not like loose, but looser than I normally do. And yep. Round and round we go. Yeah, that game is so fun. Way detailed. Very expensive. But it will definitely be worth it. I can see myself playing that one for a few years and enjoying it for a long time. That's my big thing, is I'll try a game out, and if this one I didn't want to try out because I have 2 other games by these guys in particular, and I like both. One of them is The Tenants, and that one makes me laugh really hard in spots. But you're a landlord and you gotta renovate these apartments and then rent them out, and sometimes you get paid for all sorts of weird things, like other landlords are leaving town, so they need you to keep an eye on their problem tenants, and you gotta take care of them, make sure they keep their music down, and deal with like things breaking. And they're all just very strange. And they added pets to it, so now I gotta look for lost pets. The first one I couldn't find the cat. I didn't know you just press on a certain thing and it'll take you right to it. I was like, oh, okay, well, that's not so bad, because I'm all searching these weird, blocky, weird looking graphics. Nowhere near realistic, very cartoony, but in a more, kind of reminds me of the music video for Dire Straits. I Want My MTV. That kind of blockiness, almost like the Minecraft, but not quite the same. Go. Well, I'm going to keep going until this is done. And then I'm probably going to have to move on to another project for a little bit. Keep the passion alive, or maybe I'll just work on the kimono. That might be a good idea. I don't know. I'm so torn. There's so many things to do. I'm working on how I'm going to make a thumb for the mittens. I think I know how I want to do it. I don't think I'm going to go top down. I think I'm going to go down to the upper, maybe. Oh, either way, it's going to be interesting, and I'm probably going to have to try it at least 2 or 3 times before it makes sense. But that's just the way it goes sometimes, especially when I can't seem to find anything that's working as a mittens pattern. It's just nothing has worked out. It's all been too tight. So I guess they don't make mittens for bigger hands. My hands aren't even that big, and her hands are smaller, but a little bit chubbier. That's what I mean by bigger. Making sure my mic's still on. Anyways, thanks for joining me here at All the Crackers in the Box, and I will see you again very, very soon. Bye.